Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerri. Today I'll be showing you how to join granny squares together by using single crochet. It's called double crochet in the UK. The granny squares on this blue and white cushion were joined using single crochet. I like the raised join for the cushion. I've also made this red and black cushion using a flat join, but I'll show you how to do that in another video. I'll be using 8-ply wool, which is light worsted in the US and double knit in the UK. I've got teal blue, which is a colour I'll be using for the flowers. I've got a 1.25mm crochet hook. I've got scissors. I've also got a darning needle to weave in my ends. I've got 4 solid granny squares. I have a video tutorial for the granny squares and also for the flowers I'll be adding to the cushion. I'll have a link in the description below for the granny squares and the flowers. Now I've got 2 granny squares here. I'm going to join them together with the wrong sides facing, and I'll join my wool just into the corner here. And work 1 chain. So I've joined through both of the granny squares and the wrong sides are together there. Now I'm going to work 2 single crochet into the corner. So I put my hook in to the corner chains, bring up a loop, put my yarn around, pull it through 2 loops, then I'm going to do another single crochet, so I put my hook in, bring up a loop, yarn around, and then through the 2 loops. Now I'm going to put my hook into the first stitch of the first granny square and the first stitch of the back granny square and bring up a loop and put my yarn around and through 2. And I'm going to continue like that through the first stitch, next stitch of the top granny square and the next stitch of the bottom granny square, bring up a loop and yarn around and through both. So I'm going to do a single crochet into each stitch through both of the granny squares right across to the corner. So in through the next stitch of the first granny square and in through the next stitch of the back granny square, bring up a loop, yarn around and through the loops. So I'll just continue along. I'm crocheting in the tail. Every now and then I'll just check the back to make sure the wool hasn't split, but it looks pretty good. And then just continue working a single crochet through the next stitch of both granny squares. And when I get to the corner, I work 2 single crochet into the corner through both granny squares. And that's what it looks like at the back and the front. And then I fasten off. If I open it up, it looks like that. Now I'll work the 2 more granny squares the same, and I'll weave in the end, and then I'll come back and we'll join the 2 sets together. I've got my 2 sets of granny squares. I'm going to put the wrong sides together again, like that, and I'll join my wool at the corner, in that corner chain loop there. And work 1 chain and work 2 single crochet into that corner loop. And now I work 1 single crochet through both the top and bottom granny squares into each stitch. Now I'll continue up until I get just before the join here, and then I'll be back to show you how I do the join. Now I'm up to the stitch before the joins, so into the next stitch I'm going to work 1 single crochet, and then I'm going to work a joined single crochet into the same stitch as my last single crochet and the next stitch. So I put my hook in, bring up a loop, and then put my hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around and through all the 3 loops. And then I'm going to work a single crochet into the same stitch as the last part of the joined single crochet. And now I continue working 1 single crochet into each stitch through both granny squares to the corner. If we open it out, our join looks like that. Now I'll continue across to the corner, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Once we get to the corner, we work 2 single crochet into the 2 chain loop at the corner through both of our granny squares. And then fasten off. Now I'll just weave in my end, and I'll be back to show you this part finished. Now there's the 4 granny squares joined together. I'll be attaching a flower to the centre of each of the granny squares, like that. I'll be stitching around the yellow part, and in the next video, in 2 weeks' time, I'll be adding a border around the cushion. If you like my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram and Twitter. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.